Hey Frugivore! So here are 10 reasons why I quit rice, and the rice recipe I eat instead. And that recipe will be towards the end of the video. So as you know, I've eaten rice on and off for years. Like most of you, I thought it was a good, clean carb staple. I've praised it many times, and I'm not here to tell you that you can never eat it again. And I'm not saying I will never eat rice again either. But after looking deeper into the science and paying close attention to how it was digesting for me, I realized rice was actually holding me back. So today, I want to share the science behind why I quit the bunker rice, sterile, lifeless starch, and why I replaced it with my Gut Glow apple rice recipe. Because here's the truth, rice may seem harmless, but it's actually quite demanding on your body. It demands more from your pancreas, can strip away your gut protection, and slow your elimination. Gut Glow rice is alive, protective, and actually even tastier. Let's break it down. Reason number 1, rice has an unbalanced sugar load. Rice is built from starch, long chains of glucose molecules. When digested, those chains break down into only glucose, with no fructose to ease the load. That means every calorie of rice requires insulin for uptake, forcing the pancreas to release a strong surge of insulin to clear it from the blood. This is not aligned with frugivore physiology. The benefit of my Gut Glow rice is that it contains apples. They're a natural mix of glucose and fructose, and actually up to 65% fructose, which is amazing. And like you've heard me say many times, fructose doesn't need insulin to fuel us. It goes via the portal vein into your liver and tops up glycogen. Reason number 2, rice overworks the pancreas. Some really interesting connections I've been making recently is that cooked rice, which has about 30% starch, can require 10 to 20 times more pancreatic amylase than apples do. Apples are only about 1% starch, which our amylase is designed to break down. The sugar in apples are already in cell-ready form. They're handled easily by sucrase enzymes in your intestine, which unlike pancreas enzymes, have practically unlimited capacity. So every time you eat rice, you're basically calling your pancreas into enzyme overdrive. Every time you eat Gut Glow, digestion happens smoothly with almost no demand. Rice-heavy diets place a heavier pancreatic and metabolic load on the body, which may help explain why conditions like pancreatitis are more common in high rice-eating regions such as India and Asia. Reason 3, rice gives unnaturally high blood sugar spikes. Seeing we are frugivores, blood sugar spikes are preferable from pure fruit and sugar meals, as they are naturally regulated by fructose. White rice, however, contains no fructose, as I said earlier, so has a glycemic index of around 70 to 90, depending on the variety. That means unnaturally sharp spikes in blood glucose and insulin. Apples are only about 36 to 40 on the glycemic index. That's less than half the rice, so you have more natural blood sugar spikes. If any of this is fascinating to you, then I encourage you to join us in my 12-month fruit-based course. There's already a solid 8 months of recipes, live streams, exclusive ebooks, and videos from me. You have support from others in the VIP community, and my course helps guide you through step-by-step how to thrive on a fruit-based diet and lifestyle. I'm in there daily and you can ask me anything. I've also written books to help you transition to the low-starch frugivore life, like the Raw to 4 diet. More information in my description below. Reason number 4, rice is sterile and lifeless food. Let's get real here. Cooked rice is dead, sterile, bunker, wartime, no enzymes, no gut-nourishing microbes, not much flavor, nothing alive. That's why it can last years in storage. Fruit, of course, is different. Apples carry enzymes, polyphenols, and living microbes not only on the skin but deep inside the flesh. A single serving of Gut Glow apple rice is around 600 to 700 calories and can deliver tens of millions of beneficial bacteria to reseed your gut. Rice gives you nothing like that. Reason 5, rice can strip away gut protection. Sticky rice starch can strip away the protective mucus layer in your stomach and duodenum. That layer is your defense against stomach acid and pepsin. When it's weakened, you're more vulnerable to irritation, heartburn, even ulcers. Also nutrient absorption issues. Apples do the opposite. Their soluble fiber, especially pectin, reinforces the mucus barrier and helps shield the gut lining. So bunker rice can erode your defenses while Gut Glow strengthens them. Reason 6, the anti-nutrients in rice can block minerals. And here's another strike against rice. It's loaded with plant defense chemicals. Compounds like phytic acid bind to your minerals, zinc, iron, calcium, and make them unavailable for absorption. And that's not all. Rice contains lectins, tannins, and saponins too, all of which interfere with digestion and nutrient uptake. Sure, it can help if you soak, sprout, or ferment, but if your food requires all that, then it's just not human frugivore food. And I rarely see anyone bothering to do that. Fruit doesn't come with those barriers. Instead of stealing your minerals, fruit gives you antioxidants, enzymes, and sweetness with nothing to block absorption. Reason 7. Rice accumulates heavy metals. Something that's always concerned me is that rice accumulates 10 to 40 times more inorganic arsenic than fruits, for instance. And brown rice retains 50 to 80% more arsenic than white rice from the same source. In mice, eating rice contaminated with arsenic and cadmium worsened their mucus depletion and broke down tight junctions in their intestines, making the intestines more permeable. The beginnings, basically, of leaky gut. Apples don't carry this high risk. Choosing apple rice instead of bunker rice lowers your exposure to toxic metals every single day. Reason 8. Rice can be constipating and produce small poops. If you've ever noticed sluggish or constipated bowels after a rice-heavy diet or meal even, there's a good reason for that. White rice is almost fibre-free. With so little soluble fibre to hold water and gel, stools become smaller, drier, and harder to move. That means we're often down to just one bowel movement a day, sometimes even less. This is not right for the human frugivore. You should be having at least 3 bowel movements per day. GutGlow Apple Rice changes everything. Apples are rich in pectin and soluble fibre that hydrate the stool, regulate consistency, and speed transit. The result? The natural frugivore rhythm of 3 comfortable bowel movements a day, or even some more if you need it. Full clean-outs that don't require toilet paper. And when your colon clears fully and frequently, your belly stays flatter, lighter, and free from the bloat that starch fermentation brings. Reason number 9. Rice creates unbalanced fermentation, a redox effect. Let's zoom in on the type of fibre rice has. Rice has very little soluble fibre. It's mostly insoluble bulk. And what starch does survive digestion becomes resistant starch. Resistant starch is often wrongly touted as a miracle fuel for the short-chain fatty acids, but it's actually a substrate that causes unbalanced fermentation in the colon. That often means excessive butyrate, methane, hydrogen gas. Translation: bloating, heaviness, and smell. Resistant starch doesn't just make you gassy, it can actually feed the wrong bacteria. In people with digestive challenges like IBS or SIBO, that means opportunistic microbes get the feast, pumping out hydrogen, methane, and sulfides that trigger pain, bloating, and discomfort. Instead of calming the gut, resistant starch can fuel dysbiosis. And when transit slows, as it does on rice, your colon starts to reabsorb those compounds back into the bloodstream. That's not detox, that's what I call retox. But again, apples are different. Their soluble fibre, especially pectin, draws water, gels, and regulates stool consistency. It ferments slowly and evenly, producing short-chain fatty acids in balanced ratios: acetate, propionate, and butyrate. That balance supports microbial diversity and fuels colon cells without overwhelming you with gas. And here's the extra shine twist. Apple polyphenols actually modulate fermentation. They encourage bifidobacteria and lactobacilli while reducing inflammatory byproducts. So rice fermentation can feel heavy and gassy. Fruit fermentation feels light, balanced, and comfortable. Reason number 10. Rice is bland and unsatisfying. Rice in itself is so bland. Starch itself is tasteless, so plain rice has no natural satisfaction. You can't sit down and enjoy a whole bowl of straight rice without wanting salt or sauces just to make it palatable. This means basing your meals on rice often drives up sodium chloride intake, which isn't great for long-term health. Apple rice is different. The natural fructose delivers sweetness that satisfies your brain's reward system, while the pectin and fibre create fullness and balance. That combination switches off foraging mode. You're no longer chasing flavour because the food already hits the satisfaction switch nature built into us as frugivores. Okay, so there are my 10 reasons why I'm no longer eating rice. Am I saying I'll never eat rice again? No, but I can see what it is. It's bunker food, it's wartime emergency rations. That's why I quit bunker rice, and that's why my GutGlow apple rice is here to stay. And I challenge you to 1 week of eating the Gut Glow rice recipe every day. Swap out your standard rice for my Gut Glow rice and let us know in the comments what you notice. So here's the recipe, very simple. Use a food processor and pulse blend at least 6 peeled or unpeeled apples with 1 to 2 tablespoons of sugar and a small peeled knob of ginger. Eat alone or with another Shine Diet recipe, and that's it. And you can find those Shine Diet recipes in my 12-month fruit-based course. And check out my fruit-based books packed with over 100 recipes. You can also add whatever flavors you want to the apple rice. You can try to make it savory. Just experiment.